This is part 5 in our series on symbolism. We're going to look at the goddess and the goddess in a dark aspect. I wish to acknowledge Mark Passio in his podcast, What on Earth is Happening, for the valuable knowledge in this presentation. Goddess symbolism. There are 4 categories of symbolism: the torch, the goddess, the dove, and the owl. So starting with the illuminated torch. This torch is a symbol of enlightenment. Light and dark occultists use this symbol depending on whether they serve or enslave humanity. The flame on this illuminated torch is the flame of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Light shows the way out of darkness. This symbolism is a torch that will show us the way when otherwise you would have not been able to see. The torch is also a symbol of enlightenment. Light and dark occultists use this symbol. So light shows us the way out of darkness. The symbolism is the torch that shows you the way when otherwise you would not have been able to see. Now, the goddess plays an active role in astrotheology as the bearer of light of God's Saviour, the Sun. The goddess figure represents movements of the night sky and the galaxy, the womb of creation, as she is the cloak of night, or the moon. She is the bearer of the sun at the end of darkness of the night, the bringer of the child, God's Son, or Son, S-U-N. As after she has battled with darkness, the sun is resurrected and restored to light into the evil world. And this is the foundational basis of Christianity. Now, Semiramis was the incarnation of the goddess in the Sumerian and Babylonian cultures. She is depicted as holding a child. The statue of Semiramis and the child predates Christianity, and the image of Mary and child by thousands of years. Goddess symbolism as a protected mother is an ancient archetype that goes way back into the human subconscious in many traditions throughout the ages, specifically in the Sumerian and Babylonian cultures, down through Egyptian cosmology to Roman times and into the modern day. The goddess holds a chalice and a cross on a Roman coin. She has the illuminated rays of the moon and the crown, because she is the bringer of illumination of the sacred feminine force. The illuminated crown is the opening of the right brain hemisphere to the balance required to understand the true lessons of self. This is a spiritual awakening out of darkness. It is not an external symbol of an actual goddess, but it is about the qualities of being, and there are different connotations. There is a light side and a dark side to the goddess. There is duality inherent in symbolism, which is simply knowledge, can be used for good or evil. Now, a classical depiction of the Statue of Liberty with goddess symbolism shows similarities to Semiramis, with the rays of the moon on her crown and holding the illuminated torch representing the light. She gives birth to the sun, represented by the torch, and this is a lunar and solar image. French Masons gave the Statue of Liberty to America as a gesture to the American Freemasons to honour America's influence in the French Revolution. I believe it is a positive image of truth and freedom born from knowledge. The Statue of Liberty represents the light side of the goddess through the grasping of knowledge and the connection to the light. The Statue of Liberty refers to Semiramis, Isis, Mary, Diana, and any goddess down through the ages. The goddess is a symbol for Columbia Pictures. The goddess is standing on a pyramid shape of a staircase platform. She is the same colour as the Catholic Mary. She is holding a bright torch like the Statue of Liberty, symbolic of the bearing of the sun's light, or the Son of God. It is a way to show us that knowledge, to understand proper moral action, one's rights, and when action is required of us in the world. Understanding must be built before taking any major action in the world. Once we have that understanding, we can put it into practice, bringing light into the world. And it is what we know as right action. Right action is born of emotional qualities. Care must be born in the heart, represented by the dove. There's another depiction of Diana, Semiramis, Isis, or Mary. The Latin word for dove is columba. The French word is colombe. Taking that into English, it's Columbia. The illuminated torch on the back of a dime. Torch is chosen for its reference to the number 10. 10, when used with the illuminated torch, refers to another aspect of how the occult works. It is associative thinking, cross associations and establishing relationships, not linear or logical thinking. People with extreme power and influence think about how to get power, and they see patterns and use the knowledge to control and subvert human freedom. This is why knowledge is simply a means. It's not an end. Knowledge is only the first step. We must put into action in the right capacity on the side of morality. The dark occultists are on the wrong side of the equation. They cannot feel their psychopathic nature. We must try to open our minds and understand how symbolic associative thinking works. The symbol of Aten. This is occult green or symbolic language in conjunction with the dime. Aten is a variation of 10, the solar god of Egypt. Therefore, the symbol of Aten, the light bringer from the Egyptian solar cult religion, will be used to associate anything associated with the number 10. The two numbers represent basic binary code: 1 on, 0 off, 1 day, 0 night, 1 good, 0 evil. These are binary or polarized forces. The male 1 is a phallic shape combined with the 0 being a female egg shape. The masculine 1 and the female 0 together make the number 10. Now, bankers look at themselves as those who have the light and control the monetary system. However, they have no real light. People are truly spiritually aware, have light, and bear it into the world, not these dark occultists running the monetary system and putting the symbol of their so-called light on money with the one eye. The torch is a symbol of spiritual enlightenment. It is on a dime, associated with fake money and spiritual enlightenment. Now, the Visa credit card shows multiple aspects of goddess symbolism. The symbols are designed to elicit associations through the subconscious mind. The Visa credit card shows a lighthouse, a moon on the horizon, and a dove in the hologram, which depicts goddess symbolism. The lighthouse, a bright torch, symbolizes the goddess, as does the blue dove in the hologram. The blue frequency says to accept this and see it as something good. The logo of the waters and the lighthouse act as a guide to another representation of guiding light of the goddess. All of this is symbolic. She is represented by the moon and the dove. The sacred symbolism and colour put these ideas associated with those symbols in your subconscious mind. Now, to counter the subversive use of symbolism, we must consciously understand the symbols and how they are used selfishly. Now, the owl is one of the favourite symbols of the dark occult. The owl represents the sacred feminine components: care of the heart. The dark side of goddess symbolism is the owl, is when care has gone dark. Now the owl represents and corresponds with night or darkness, because owls are carnivorous predatory birds that can see and hunt in the dark. An owl is associated with wisdom. Now the dark forces do not have wisdom, but they know. The owl depicts ancient wisdom, and the dark occult works with ancient knowledge of the human psyche and its workings, and in so doing they can see things the public is unaware of, such as the dynamics of the human psyche, the psychological conditions and motivations. Therefore, the elite look at themselves as predators. Using green language, predators are predators. That is, those from the ancient past who know from antiquity and exploit how the human psyche works. The owl perfectly represents the human situation. We cannot see the dominator forces because our eyesight is not good. We cannot see the human capacity for evil and how it is run amok in this world. The owl sees from a high level. They fly above the ground and can see all things, while people on the ground, meaning at a lower level of consciousness, can barely see in front of themselves. The owl represents a higher level of knowing, not necessarily wisdom. The owl is carnivorous and devours its prey. Bohemian Grove, the Bohemian Club. The logo of the Bohemian Club is used by the elite power brokers. They gather yearly in California, 7 miles north of San Francisco, in a redwood grove called Bohemian Grove. The club has an exclusive membership of powerful leaders, including high-level members of DARPA. They meet yearly to develop plans for what they will do in the coming months. And their symbol is the owl. It is a dark occult symbol. The owl is shown in a stone relief at Bohemian Grove. Around the owl are the letters BC for Bohemian Club, and their motto, "Weaving spiders come not here," as if to say Bohemian Club is supposed to be a retreat for the elites, where they can escape from all the cares that plague them as they run the world. Now, you'd have to be very naive to believe that. The power brokers at the highest level of finance, religion, government, media, and every other institution of the world would not get together without doing some weaving, as spiders do. The owl and the moon. The moon symbolized in conjunction with the owl, because the ancient goddess religions, specifically the Sumerian goddess worship, has the owl depicted as a symbol for the dark incarnation of the goddess, meaning a dark form of care. This form of not caring took over their soul, and it's a perfect symbolic analogue for the elites, who indeed relish it. So this concludes part 5 of goddess symbolism. In the next episode, we'll look at dark occult movements and look further into owl symbolism.